This will shock you, and I'm going to show you how to prepare. What do Trump, Larry Fink, and Michael Saylor all have in common? They're in an amazing race to gobble up all the supply of Bitcoin. The president of the United States is now the top 5 treasury with his true social in Bitcoin. Do you remember when Trump was president last time? He said he's a dollar guy. He said it's used for money laundering, cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin. Larry Fink said almost the exact same thing. It's used for money laundering. His clients want nothing to do with it. But something flipped in 2020 for Michael Saylor, who's now one of the largest holders through his treasury. And something flipped in 2023 for Trump and Larry Fink, the largest asset manager in the world. So, how do you prepare for this? You need to understand what is actually happening. So I'm going to show you the facts, figures, numbers, logic to help you digest what is happening. If you watch my video from yesterday, we'll put it right here in the description. Okay. Is Bitcoin a scam? Go take a look. Guys, we're beyond that. This is a new financial system. So I'm first going to show you what countries hold it. Then I'm going to show you what corporations hold it. And then I'm going to tell you how we prepared for this and how we built financial freedom. And now we're going to build generational wealth by paying attention to what they do, not what they say. So let's dive right in. On the back end of every video, I share with you exactly what I'm doing. Now, I've showed you this before. Now, this is interesting too. This is Bitcoin holdings of countries and governments. Now, why am I breaking this down for you? So if anybody around you or you're still struggling to try to understand, okay, I don't listen to hype. I follow what the money is doing. Okay. You can tell me all day Bitcoin's going to zero. You can tell me all XRP is a scam. I just watch what the big money's doing, guys. I didn't make the game. I didn't create the game, but damn well the game gives clues, and they gave us amazing resources. This internet, this phone, TikTok, Instagram, Google, AI technology that I can research all of this stuff now, and I can make informed decisions for my family and my ecosystem because that's my job as the head of the household to protect my number one God. Number two is to protect my family financially, spiritually, and mentally. And then damn well protect my ecosystem and make good decisions for my businesses and stay out of other men's business. I'm too busy working on mine. But here is what it looks like from the countries. Now, this is interesting, okay? Because remember, we found out that the past administration sold off 80% of our Bitcoin. So I told you that's great news. I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist. And I'm like, this is really powerful. Okay, so this is on July 2025. So I don't know if this is actually updated because it says that America is the number one holder in Bitcoin at 200,000. But from what we found out is that they sold off 80% of that supply, which put us down at 22,000, which is interesting. Why I think that's bullish, because if that's true, China's number two, that puts them in the number one spot. It puts the UK in the number 3 spot. It puts Ukraine in the number 4 spot. It puts us in the number 5 spot if that's true. So if we only hold 25,000 Bitcoin, if they truly did sell out, that means there's going to be a fast, amazing race. Just like Bo Hines said, okay, who's the executive director for Trump, said we're going to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. But from what we know, America's number 1, China's number 2, UK, Ukraine, Bhutan, and El Salvador. Okay, so that's what we know from a country level. The next is to understand the top 100 public Bitcoin treasury companies. Okay. Number 1, Michael Saylor, Strategy B, which was MicroStrategies, which is a software company. But in 2020, he got turned on to Bitcoin and converted his whole company into a Bitcoin treasury. You're going to see a lot of companies on the S&P. Look at there's top 100 right now, guys. Bunch of companies are going to be converting into Bitcoin treasuries because of the deflationary mechanism. Okay, we created a treasury for our company. We run a 20% profit margin. We have about 20% of that profit going into Bitcoin, XRP, and our dividend strategy. Okay, so strategy, write this down. Strategy is number 1. If we scroll down here a little bit, boom. Oh, they fell down to number 5. Okay, so number 6 is Trump Media Technology Group. They are the number 6 holder in Bitcoin in corporate treasuries now. Okay, They passed Tesla. Then you got Coinbase. Okay, Coinbase is a cryptocurrency company. Look at that. Coinbase, you got Trump Media climbed up to the number 6 spot in public companies and Bitcoin treasuries. Okay. Strategy B. Now remember, Michael Saylor was hanging out with Trump where? At the White House. Wake up, guys. Trump family, and I'm going to do another video on this. Think about this. The Trump family has grown their wealth in the last 18 months in cryptocurrency, almost $1 billion. You know how long it's taken them with their real estate portfolios? A lifetime of the Trump family to create billion-dollar ecosystems. In crypto, they're going to do it in 24 months. Wake up. Okay. Next, this is important. Here's the Bitcoin, the top 20 entities. Okay. So we have the top countries. Okay. We have the top Bitcoin treasuries. Trump is now number 6, climbing to the number 5 spot. You got Strategy B, okay, who was hanging out at the White House, Michael Saylor. These are the top 20 entities. Okay. So you have companies, treasuries, countries, and now entities. Number 1 is Coinbase, right? Because they obviously held for their clients. Okay. So let me walk through this so we get this clear. This is countries. This is company treasuries. Okay. MicroStrategy is number 1. Trump's media company, number 6. Now, this is entities. So it'd be individuals, entities. Coinbase is number 1 because they hold it for their clients. Number 2 is Satoshi, right? That's an individual. We don't know who that is, supposedly. Binance, BlackRock, okay? MicroStrategies. Let's keep going down here. Grayscale, the US government. And I want to show you one right here that you might stand out to you. Fidelity. You see this? Can you see my thing? Boom, let's pull that up there. Fidelity. Interesting. Why is that important that Fidelity is such a big holder in Bitcoin? What does Fidelity represent? They're the number 1 holder of 401ks. Interesting. They're the number 1 holder in 401ks. So let's just go back through that if you're having any trouble digesting this. America's number 1 country. Top 100 public companies. Number 1 is MicroStrategies. Remember, BlackRock is the number 3 holder, I believe, in Strategy B. Okay. You got Trump Media, number 6. You got Fidelity here in the top. You got Fidelity in the top 12, and Fidelity is the number 1 401k holder. You guys see what's happening here? Do you see what's happening? You were told that this is a fraud. You were told it was used for money laundering. Your financial advisor told you run as fast as you could from it. And now here's what the Cynthia Loomis, the person who created the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve that Trump is super bullish on. They just signed the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, stablecoin regulation. America is going to become one of the most dominant, even more, because of stablecoin, because of cryptocurrency adoption. And listen to this around Bitcoin.
A person can be truly a sovereign individual if they own Bitcoin. It is digital gold. They can transact with people all over the world. It's very important if you're in a country with a corrupt government, such as Venezuela, you can transact around the world in Bitcoin without your government's involvement. So,
okay, now I don't agree with her that they're going to transact with Bitcoin. Okay. And the reason why is it's representing gold. Okay. It is a store of value. Now, let me explain these mechanisms. Okay. And then I'll explain to you exactly what I do and why I do it. I think that's more important. Okay. I'm going to be open and transparent with you guys and share with you exactly what I do. On my channel, I share with you, I pull back the curtain. Okay. Bitcoin, it took me a while to come around to it. I'm just being transparent. But once BlackRock made that decision, I was all in on XRP ISO tokens. And then BlackRock made that decision. I'm a businessman. Okay. We own 6 companies and I understand how to properly use leverage to buy cash flow. Okay. Because I bought businesses. So what I did from 2020 to 2022, everybody got rich in crypto and they bought Lambos and watches and, stuff. And I was like, this is my one shot, my one opportunity to free my family financially. So what we did is we built businesses. and we built cash flow. And then when the market collapsed, guess what? We weren't sitting on a bunch of stuff we couldn't afford to impress people we didn't like. We bought back in and we accumulated and we created more cash flow. Okay. Now, my portfolio was just focused on RWA, real world solve, like ISO tokens, right? I had some other ones outside of that. But in 2023, boom, all of a sudden, BlackRock flipped on us. And I started going deep and following everything BlackRock was doing. And I always been following that. Remember, Larry Fink sits on the board of trustees for the World Economic Forum. His mission is to move the World Economic Forum purpose forward. They said you're going to own nothing and be happy by 2030. Most Americans don't own shit and they're miserable anyways. Right. So this is your one opportunity, because the middle class is getting wiped out, leverage source technology moving down to the working poor by 2030. Yes, the Trump administration is going to bring in a ton of cash into your pocket. Remember, cash is trash. They're going to lower interest rates. They're going to print as much money as possible. But what game are they playing, guys? They're not playing the same game that we are. This is what they're doing. This is what the Trump family's doing. They got World Liberty Financial. They got their own financial ecosystem. This is what they're doing, guys. But the beauty in this, the absolute beauty in this, is that we get to play in the sandbox this time. And so I decided not to listen to the bullshit, not to listen to the naysayers, not to listen to the haters. And I played in the sandbox. Okay. And now you get to too. Now, this is how I played in the sandbox. Okay. I love Robert Kiyosaki's content. I love Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. Okay. I love to study what inflationary and deflationary systems look like. I loved understanding the rise and fall of superpowers. This is nothing new under the sun. The middle class always gets hurt. The working class always gets hurt. Okay. When you have a politician, war creates economics. War is money. Okay. When you have business people, peacetime makes money. Trump is going to bring a ton of money into this economy. You're going to have a lot more money in your pocket. You're going to have lower taxes. It's going to be the greatest economy in the world. But what you're getting paid in and the more money you have in your pocket is someone else's debt. We're still going to have negative debt to income ratio. Okay. So is it ironic that all of a sudden they're all shifting into a deflationary asset that has a fixed supply that's going to grow and appreciate over time the next 116 years? That's how long Bitcoin is mined. That's weird, right? They're revaluing gold probably, and they're going to buy as much Bitcoin as possible that has a fixed supply, and it's going to have literally a supply and demand issue in the next 24 months. There's not going to be enough Bitcoin. There's only going to be a buyer and seller. And they're going to put a ton of buying pressure on it by raising the price, because there'll always be someone that will exit at some point. I ain't touching any of my Bitcoin. Okay, so let's take Bitcoin, and I moved it off to the side, and I started getting in 2023, and then I started accumulating as much as I could. Now here's why. Okay, Bitcoin represents gold to me. It's a store of value that I can leverage to buy more cash flow. Let's put it off to the side. Okay, and I focus on 4 things. Cash flow. Okay, I invest my cash flow, I don't store cash, into deflationary assets. Deflationary means fixed supply, opposite of the inflationary US dollar, where you become poor every year. I buy things like Bitcoin and Xrp and many others, which I'll break down in just a moment. I also use cash value life insurance. Okay, I stuff money into my premiums every single month. I have 11 policies with my partner combined for our kids in our ecosystem. Okay, we have family banks. And then we have leverage. Okay, the working class uses debt to become poor. Wealthy people use leverage. That's their form of debt to become richer. Okay. The normal public has a $100,000 salary. They will get a $30,000 loan for a car to extend their buying power to $130,000, but they did not increase their actual income. So they extended it over 78 months, and they took away their family's ability to grow their wealth because they're focused on trying to make that payment, when they should be taking what the payment is, the $900 payment, and putting that into an investment that will appreciate, take the appreciation, put it into an asset that will create cash flow, use the cash flow to buy the car. We have to flip our brain, guys. Okay, so remember, cash flow is first. When cash flow hits, okay, I put it into more cash flow, like cash generating dividends. When I get cash flow and cash generating dividends, I de-risk into deflationary assets that have fixed supplies. Every month I stuff money into my premiums. When these deflationary assets go parabolic, I use Merlin right here with my backwards here. Merlin, this is our company. We're the co-founders and creators. This is not an investment. This is a crypto tracker to keep us organized. We're super organized. It's our demo account. Look how organized this brings all your exchanges into one place. We calmly see everything going on. You got the markets, you got your exchanges, and we help you set up an exit plan, okay? Boom, you set up an exit plan. As this goes parabolic, I exit 50% of my altcoins and none of my Bitcoin, okay? Because that's the leverage component. Okay, as I exit, I use Merlin, the smartest way to track my crypto. Okay, check this out. So if I click on an exit plan right here, boom, I hit my target. Say I'm just using XLM as an example. I hit $1.60. That's a target that I pick based on, we teach you how to set up an exit plan. Tells me exactly how many tokens to exit. And based on tax liabilities, tells me exactly how much I'll pay in taxes if I exit all of those throughout the bull run. Okay, now people are like, well, why would you exit, JB? Because diversification is key. Vertical strategies. Let me give you an example. When I was here in 2020, next door is one of our businesses. I had a business. I worked in the business, had crypto. Okay. Vertical. When I was in corporate America, went to school, got a job, had a 401k. Vertical. What happens when one of the verticals disappears? You have to access the other vertical taken away from your family. So they shut down my business and took away my ability to take care of my family because I hadn't scaled properly. I didn't have enough cash generating dividends. I just had crypto. So now I'm staring at this crypto portfolio that I'm so proud of. And I'm like, damn, I got to cash now. I said, hell no. So I didn't cash it out. I moved back in with my parents. I said, give me 1 year. I'm going to study the shit out of cash flow. I'm going to study the shit out of the richest man in Babylon, the wisdom of King Solomon. How do I get my family in a position where no man or woman can ever take away my ability to feed my family? And that's what I did. I built an ecosystem of financial freedom. I bought cash flow. Okay. I took my appreciation, I put it into life insurance policies. Now I have leverage components. Now my family is always set with cash flow, debts and non-negotiables are taken care of. Okay. That's rich. Rich, you can F up. Okay. Wealthy is the next run, 2025 to 2029. Wealth is when you're getting to the realm where you have so much money coming in on a monthly basis that you have to sit there and have a whole ecosystem team doing it. Okay. We're rich. Okay. You can mess that up. How do you mess it up? You buy Lambos, you buy watches, you buy shit you can't afford to impress people you don't like. As a man, your job is to make sure your ecosystem and your family is taken care of. And until all your debts and non-negotiables are taken care of by assets, you don't buy stuff. And then when you buy stuff, you buy it with OPM. You leverage to buy an asset to pay for the liability. So we have to reframe our mind. So Merlin, so you're talking about exit strategies, go down below and click the description of this video or my social media platform. You can download Merlin for 30 days for free. We'll show you how to do an exit plan. Okay. Now, the thing about this is if you're just getting in right now, right? Take a deep breath. Don't try to get rich quick. Okay. I'm not going to bullshit you on my channel. Okay. You might come in at the top. You might come in expecting getting it at XRP at $3.40, and these influencers are making you think you're going to become a multi-millionaire in the next 6 months. It just doesn't work that way, guys. If it does, fantastic. I will eat crow. I will come on here and apologize and say congratulations. But that's not how wealth is built. Okay. You got the next, Ralph Paul says the best, next 6 years. Do not mess this up. Right now, your job in this bull run is financial literacy, financial education, setting a solid game plan in place. Okay. Getting mindset 2030 and backwards to today. And you should be focused on the next bull run, getting that ecosystem in place, and then getting that financial freedom in the next 6 years. But what people will do is because of cryptocurrency, because of the hype, because of the get rich quick and meme coins, is they'll get these unrealistic expectations and they'll be disappointed. Okay. We don't bullshit you here. This is about discipline, consistency. Now, may it explode and you do pretty well? Yeah, you might be able to turn 10 grand into 100 grand. Fantastic. 100 grand is not a lot of money. $1 million won't set you free. $3 million won't set you free. 5 million, maybe you could live a decent life. You need to be up in the 10 to 20 million, and that is possible over the next 6 years if you really dial it in my opinion. Okay. In my opinion. But you got to know what this is. You got to know why you're investing in it. You got to build an ecosystem, and you got to be disciplined, and you got to have delayed gratification. That's what made us rich. Okay. And I'm being honest, we ain't wealthy yet. Wealthy is when you can't even stop it's just like you have to really F up. Wealthy to me is when I know that my kids are taken care of. That's the next 6 years. Okay. So yes, you can get rich in this asset class, but you can also get wrecked very quickly. So I hope that I'm able to keep you calm, keep you stoic by sharing. Oh, just to let you know, my top cryptos are XRP's number 1, Bitcoin's number 2, Solana's number 3, XLM and VeChain. Those are my top 6 cryptos. And I have many other cryptos, but I'm only buying right now XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. I dollar cost every single day. Monthly, I buy Solana every month. Dollar cost average into Bitcoin and XRP every day. That's exactly what I do. I'm not hiding anything from you guys. That's what I got for you guys. I love you guys. So yeah. Did it shock you? Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think about this? Leave your comments down below. And so if your family is telling you it's a fraud, it's time to just put your blinders on, man. Get focused. God, family, protect your ecosystem at all costs. Dad, other men and women's business. You're too busy working on yours. Love you guys. Warriors, let's get your shit together. God bless.